Right, and as the 70s closed, reggae had now become international, and reggae drummers started to get influenced by rock and funk. So what happened was the bass drum was freed from playing 4 to the bar and started to syncopate around the beat a little bit more. And you get this sort of style. Right. Well, the way I see it, the space afforded by a whole decade of reggae drummers playing half-time has put a whole new perspective on rock and funk rhythms. And so it's led to reggae drumming, I think, becoming perhaps the most influential area in modern drumming over the last few years. And the man who is really responsible for leading that change with his rock-solid and deceptively simple style is Sly Dunbar.
There may be a couple of thousand rhythm patterns you could play by any song. So we have to choose which one is right for the song. So, for instance, if the singer is singing something like Art Made of Stone, the singer starts, Art Made of Stone, I could play Art Made of Stone. You wouldn't let me know, but it wouldn't flow with the vocal that much, you know. So I was thinking of playing Art Made of Stone. But that's a beat that's used regular, very regular, right? So I said, no, I want something different for this song, right? So what they were playing, and I said, all right, I can try something. Turn the other way around. So I said, Art Made of Stone. Same beat, but playing one on the other and playing it on the snare, the same thing. But you get different accents, different jump fall, and different notes, and they sound different.
After the drums, the bass is probably the most crucial instrument in reggae. It has a very difficult job to do. It's got to fit in with the drums, sometimes holding the beat back, sometimes pushing it forward. We asked Dennis Bovell to explain.
Say the beat's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then the bass might go over timing of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You know, really behind the beat, almost dragging it back. Right? Those have been the most popular. But you know, you play almost anything.
To talk about reggae bass, you've got to start with the sound, and that's really deep and bassy. Now, Jamaican music has always emphasised bass because reggae was originally recorded music which was then played on sound systems outside at big dances and events. Now, the DJs found that by turning the bass controls up to full, they could stun the audience. They've kept the bass thing really heavy ever since then. So, a big, deep sound. Now, the other thing to remember is Jeff was talking about one drops, and they emphasise the third beat. Now, when you play a bass line, think in 2-bar patterns and phrase to the third beat in the second bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's a pattern that does that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, once you've got an idea for the phrasing, try missing out the first beat. Here's a pattern missing out an 8th note. Now, once you've missed out a bit of a beat, let's try missing out the whole of the first beat. Try a quarter beat rest. another idea that you might try is to take a simple funk pattern, play it funky, then simplify it, play more laid back behind the beat, and it turns into reggae. Obviously, the drums and the guitar have got to change, of course. Something like this. Now, these are some simple bass line ideas in reggae. Now, the top bass player in reggae today is Robbie Shakespeare. He's probably played on more hit records than any other bass player in Jamaica. We asked him what sort of things he might try on One Drop and Steppers.
Well, you have a whole heap of different style. Like, you have a style like One Drop, you call it like ska, chick, chick, chick. Like have the bass bumming around more, right? And the drum will just keep a steady, steady beat, right? And you have like a next style now, would be like Sly would play, the drum can play like pop, right? And when the drum play that, carry the bass would now after foot drum, yeah, carry the beat now. So now the top would be well furnished and the bottom would have your feet moving. The top can do anything.
Now, it's not only the rhythms you play, it's the notes you play as well. Because reggae bassists tend to play phrases that create tension, and that sounds great with the up-in-the-air feel of the rhythm. One way of doing that is to emphasize the fifth of a chord. I'm going to play a pattern that I played before, but you'll notice that the fifth is emphasized more. It's A going to E, and this will be played over an A minor chord. It's like this. Now, the idea of phrasing to a fifth of a chord has appeared in calypso and mento. You hear phrases like this. Now, if you take the same bass line, play it a lot slower, and with a laid-back feel, you get something like reggae.